we get started.
Honestly, there's probably at least one ridiculous hill to die on in every single one of our podcasts.
It's usually mine.
Emily is definitely most likely to go on a tangent.
And to argue.
She'll be like...
I never know what she's arguing.
She's like, slight tangent on Hamlet. Like, oh, here we go.
Slight tangent on what
Hamlet.
Birds. Those birds that we were talking about?
Albatross.
In the universe of in the green eggs and ham lore, do they have regular eggs in addition to the green eggs, or all of the eggs green?
I'm saying, why would they specify it's green eggs and ham if they didn't
have regular eggs?
Yeah.
Why are the eggs green?
I don't know. My argument is that they are naturally occurring in that universe.
Okay.
And I say that because they're not scrambled eggs. If you look at them in the book, they're eggs. Just the yolk is green. So either they would have to remove the yolk, dye it green, and then put it perfectly back in the egg, perfectly round. They're like sunny side up. Like,
I wonder if you could inject a yolk with food coloring.
I don't think it would mix properly.
It would probably break.
Yeah, and I don't think it would look right.
Okay, so it's not mutually exclusive, right? They can have regular eggs and green eggs that are natural.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. We've settled the problem.
No, we haven't.
We haven't fixed anything. So the question is, who has the green eggs and ham?
The people in the larger universe.
Why?
Because they are the ones. Because they're not Who's. They don't look anything like Who's.
That's racist.
So who said that Sam is a who? The guy who's offering the guy who's offering the eggs and ham.
The eggs and ham, yeah.
Oh, Sam, I am.
Yeah.
Is that his whole name?
Is that your legal name, sir? Imagine that you were.
It's in the name. Sam, I don't want to hear any more questions about my name.
Imagine working at the DMV in Whoville.
Your name, Sam I am. Your full name, Sam I am. What's your question?
Her question was,
Who said that the green eggs and ham people were Who's? What is her argument?
Her argument is that the Who's can have green eggs and ham. And she said that through several different avenues. One of which, her main argument of which was that they're if they don't have naturally occurring green ham and naturally occurring green eggs, they could just dye it.
wait, is the ham green?
Yes.
The ham is also green. So, in addition to some sort of other egg, they also have green pigs.
There is a beast that its flesh is green, yes.
Is it green before you cook it or after?
I assume it's cooked.
My question, I was going to ask,
is this like a shrimp where they're gray before you cook them and then green afterwards?
Is ham, I know that in our world, ham is specifically pork.
Yeah. It's
But-
a specific cut of pork.
Right. But,
It's the butt cut.
if we had animals other than cows and pigs and sheep
We
that
do.
we ate,
Oh, okay.
would any of them qualify as ham?
I don't think so.
So then it's not, it can't be ham if it doesn't come from a pig.
Yeah, so
So,
I mean,
According to our universe.
I wasn't arguing that it's not a pig. That's not my argument. I know I said beast.
Okay.
But
well, I
I'm
guess I'm arguing with the book. If it says it's a beast and doesn't,
No,
it's specifically not a pig.
The
ham.
text gives us no evidence as to where the green eggs and ham come from. Oh my gosh! I just realized, you guys. Oh my god, I forgot my main argument. I'm so stupid. God, that was such a dumb one. Oh my god, you guys! I figured out Dr. Seuss. Light bulb. Okay. What is your argument? It's not. My argument is not about the the fact that he calls it green eggs and ham. It's the fact that his customer is disgusted. Of course he
Hey!
is.
she's right. Cultural context for the conversation. If he's saying like, I've got green eggs and ham, if that's a normal breakfast food, the guy wouldn't he just be like, oh cool, I will buy that for you. Instead what does he say? First off, disclaimer.
He says, I don't like it because I've never tried it.
I would not eat it on a boat. I would not eat it with
I'm like, no,
a goat.
no, I'm like 90% sure it's specified in the book that he says he doesn't like
How
it
does the book end?
because he tries it and he likes it. I'm like 90% sure that he says he doesn't like it because he's never tried
So
it.
this is just a case of one specific character who just like hasn't had like ketchup on their eggs before, and they're like,
Yeah, that's what
I've never tried that before, but like,
I'm just because I think the book is like it's like one of those things where it's like subliminally trying to get kids to try new things, specifically food. So
Subliminally. That's called a theme.
excuse me, I'm a theater major. I don't give a fuck.
Subliminal messaging.
there's no theme in theater.
I am not concerned with the theme. I'm concerned as to why Becky is eating the divorce papers. What's your motivation? Anyway, so I just assumed that he didn't like it. He was disgusted by it, not because it's out of the ordinary, just because he has never tried it.
Okay.
And he doesn't want to try it because he's a pleb.
So your very important argument has been shot down.
I still think it's a really important argument.
We're off track. Back to the question of. Okay, wait, pause. What is star sign?
She's a Taurus.
Okay, that is the problem. Because what you said, and I don't know how well you're doing at replicating her argument, but what you said that she said was, it is possible that they have green eggs and ham.
The Who's.
Yeah, duh! It's possible that we have green eggs and ham. Anybody can have green eggs and ham. If you have eggs and you have ham, ergo, you can have green eggs and ham. What you're arguing is that they are not Who's specifically.
I'm arguing that the Who's, like, why would they ever have green eggs and ham? That's my argument. It makes no sense that the Who's would ever have any form of green eggs and ham, natural or dyed or otherwise.
Are we sure?
Because why would they even know what it is?
Are we
You
sure?
can't argue a negative, Emily.
What do you mean?
They have roast beef. They have who hash. Why can't they have green eggs and ham?
Because they don't have the same beasts to get it naturally. It's a completely different, universe. It's a completely different ecosystem. And why would they even know the concept of green eggs and ham? The argument that I used was, you wouldn't think to dye your salmon blue. Why the fuck would you dye your salmon blue?
But why couldn't they just have naturally occurring green eggs and
Because
ham?
it's a completely different ecosystem than the larger world, than the overworld.
My question is, are we
Fill it in a
sure?
freaking bubble!
Are we sure that the Who's don't have Dr. Seuss books? Because then that's where you get the idea.
I'm pretty sure Dr. Seuss books are not written in Who sizing.
Okay, here's the question.
Not produced. What's the word?
If there are tiny people living on snowflakes, why aren't there tiny pigs living on snowflakes?
I am not saying that there aren't tiny pigs, but why would there be tiny green pigs?
It's basically Angry Birds.
There's a big difference according to you.
Okay, here's the thing though. Shelby made a really good point. Basically, you can't disprove a negative. So you cannot say, I can prove for a fact that there are no purple unicorns in our universe, right? How would you prove that? You can't prove that. But, ergo, you cannot prove that the Who's would not have somehow managed to acquire green eggs and ham. You could argue that it's statistically unlikely. That you could argue. It's statistically unlikely that there are purple unicorns in our universe, or that the Who's have green eggs and ham. But
I think you're getting lost in the semantics.
That's the question. What is the argument?
The argument is why I can see your reflection in the fucking mirror in the fucking window, bitch.
You don't know what your argument is?
My argument is why would the Who's have green eggs and ham? That makes no sense.
That's a question, not an argument.
She's right! What is your argument? Is your argument that they can't possibly have green eggs and ham?
It makes no sense that the Who's would have green eggs and ham.
I mean, I'm with you.
Thank you.
It makes no sense.
Are you with me?
But I just want
I
to
don't
point out.
understand.
I want to
No,
point out
I'm
that
not.
making no sense is like a very low threshold. Like I make no
It
sense.
makes no sense that there are tiny people running around on snowflakes.
That's the part I'm having trouble with.
My question, here's my question. You really want to know what my question is? How do they know what Christmas is?
That's what I'm wondering. Is there a Who Jesus? Why isn't there a Who Hanukkah?
Remember when we were watching the live action Grinch movie, and I said something along the lines of it. Why do they know what Santa is? How do they like? I was like so concerned about the fact that there was Santa in this universe.
And then you were like, this is crucial to the plot.
the plot point that they know who Santa is.
It has to. Jesus isn't part of it, but Santa absolutely is.
Oh God. I guess I see if your argument is that the people in the big world, because Sam does not look like a Who, which yeah, I guess he doesn't look like a Who. They have
the Mandy.
green eggs and ham, and so logically, if they live in a world where there are tiny snowflakes with Who's on them, then logically those ecosystems would not. There's not really evidence to suggest that those ecosystems would be the same. However, I still think that we know so little about both of these worlds. There's no way to know whether or not they have green eggs and ham.
I mean, the question is like, if the people on the outside world have Christmas, and then the people in Whoville also have Christmas, then you have to assume that there's some sort of like
Cultural
absorption happening, right?
I'm willing to argue that the people in the overworld don't necessarily have Christmas.
I mean, yeah, we don't know.
in that case, that's leading to say that the Who's are more similar to humans
We are the
than
Who's.
the overworld.
We are the Who's.
We are living on the snowflake.
We live in
We
the
don't
eye
live-
of a blue-eyed giant named Macumba. That's Game of Thrones. Shelby set herself up, and now she'll never know if I'm being serious or not.
I'm ready to believe you.
It is Game of Thrones, but I don't think it's from the books. It's only from the show. I promise I'll try not to lie about Game of Thrones anymore, or if I do, I'll tell you.
Okay, thank you.
Because I don't want you to not trust me.
Okay, that would be really helpful.
So I'm definitely not lying about this. It was in the show, but not in the books.
What?
So if what Emily's saying about the Who's being more like humans than the outside world is correct, then stands to reason they would not have green eggs and ham because we don't have green eggs and ham.
Unless they make green eggs and ham. You said a couple minutes ago that if you have eggs and ham, you can have green eggs and ham.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, like, Emily seems very averse to the idea that they would even have the concept of green eggs and ham. So if they don't have the book, that's what I'm asking. Is like, if they don't have the Dr. Seuss book, then who would ever think that?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Like, I mean, but you also have the question of like, okay, here's the thing that gets me. It's like existential and it makes me sad. If they live on a snowflake, what happens when the snowflake melts?
I think they die.
So their existence is like what? Maybe a couple of hours? Maybe months if they... Like, how do they even have time to have children?
See,
Is
my
it all
argument-
accelerated?
My argument is that
Time works different.
their universe.
They have Christmas every day.
You know how there's a relationship between time and space?
Yes.
They're so small that time works differently.
It seems like time should work faster instead of slower. But that's just me not understanding physics.
Doesn't it work faster?
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right.
It does work faster.
You're right.
Yeah. Thank you. I love being told I'm right.
It's just like almost once a week, not almost twice a week, almost once a day. I get into what I think is a conversation with Emily.
Turns out it's an
And
argument.
it very quickly becomes an argument before I even know what we're arguing about.
I think that is like I think that's like the strange combination of like earth, water, and fire, and lack of air.
For her?
Yes.
Oh.
Because
Everything's a fight.
yeah.
And I'm like,
And
we can have a conversation where there are unknowns.
And she's willing to entertain the bizarre fucking idea that, like, little people live on a snowflake. Let's talk about the culture. But she's like, I don't necessarily want to come to a decision on this. And
Not
Emily's
unless
like,
you
go.
have really compelling evidence, which you don't.
Every single one of my opinions is really compelling evidence.
Oh my god. I'm trying to get better at not letting people interrupt me because my interrupt me. I'm like, anyway.
So then she interrupted you, but then I interrupted you, interrupting her, interrupting you.
That's how our conversations go.
Aw, he's gonna burst a blood vessel because I dissed his waifu.
There's like 3 levels of anime watchers.
Okay.
This, and that.
Do I count?
No, there's a 4th level. There's the people who like are furries.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You guys, I want cookies.
Okay.
Why didn't I buy cookies? Don't say okay, there's no cookies. Why didn't I buy cookies?
What an odd childhood.
You know what? Honestly, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say was responsible for like 50% of the movie choices that we had.
Yeah,
Like, we watched a lot of movies because liked them.
you're right.
Like, X-Men.
Austin Powers.
Oh.
Thumbelina.
You know how earlier I was telling you about how I watched Inuyasha?
Yeah.
Did I say that it was on VCR?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I know. Well, I mean, I used to, like, this is extremely embarrassing. I used to run home from school in, like, 7th grade so I could watch. Well, actually, I was running home so that I could turn off the VCR recording during the commercials when it was recording Yu Yu Hakusho. I didn't want to record the commercial. I was like, if I made it home before the first commercial, that was a good day. That's how old I am. When people on Reddit are like, tell me how old you are without using numbers, that is how old.
Record Yu Yu Hakusho on Toonami using VCRs.
And I didn't want to record the commercials.
That's hilarious. A couple weeks ago, we were watching Jumanji because it came on TV, and then right after it, they played Clue.
Oh!
And we record because it was really late at night, so we recorded it. And Emily was like, we have to watch it. And I was like, it's not that we have it on. We literally all have it on DVD. And she was like, I've never seen it on TV before.
Oh!
And I like looked at the screen or the camera. Bitch, I never watched this movie off of the TV because the recording that we had was from the TV.
Yeah. And which Austin Powers movie did he like? The first one or the second one?
I don't know. I honestly can't tell them apart. Like, it's been
You
so
claim to be gay, but you can't even tell apart the first 2 Austin Powers movies.
What?
Based on the cute
What?
girl that's in them.
What kind of fucking slander is this? What about Austin Powers makes you think gay people like it?
Well, let me explain. And let me explain. I feel like I've told this story before, but why not? So, I had not seen any Austin Powers movies, but Mom and Dad took us to go see Austin Powers 2, either in theaters or at a drive-in.
Curse them.
I think it was a drive-in.
That makes sense. That sounds right.
Austin Powers 2 is the one with the second one, Heather Graham. Fucking gorgeous.
Is Heather Graham not brunette?
She is gorgeous. I always think of her as blonde, like dirty blonde.
Who the fuck is Heather Graham?
You can look up. Can you look her up? Oh, you're not casting anymore.
I can do it.
So we go to see that. I don't know what year it was, but I was young enough that I didn't understand the delay between movie in theater and movie on VHS. Because the next week we go.
Is this the right person?
Yes, look how pretty she is. Okay, she
I'm
is
thinking of
right
someone
there.
else entirely.
Okay, Heather Graham. She's in Austin Powers 2.
Okay.
Okay, and there's this scene where she's like, I don't think she's stripping, but she's like sexy dancing to Lenny Kravitz, and I was just like enthralled as an 8-year-old.
See dancing.
And then, so like the next week, we go to like Blockbuster or something, and Austin Powers is there, and I'm like, yes, Austin Powers, I want this. Take it home. It's the first movie with the different girl, and I was pissed. I was like, this is not the movie I wanted!
Me when I saw Charlie's Angels 1 instead of Charlie's Angels 2 where they have the strip scene.
Awakening was fucking Austin Powers 2, and my Bioawakening was Charlie's Angels 2. Why don't you have a shitty movie to Gay Awakening?
Sequel?
Yeah. A shitty sequel, Gay Awakening.
I don't know. I'll think about it. I suppressed a lot of mine.
The second one.
Oh, mine's not a sequel. You know what it is.
Do I have to guess?
No.
Is it live action?
Yes.
I know what it is.
I give up.
You're never gonna guess.
George
of the
George
Jungle.
George of the
the jungle, George of the jungle.
Which, like, I'm not gonna explain it again because you both know, but it's for very complicated reasons.
Like, she's not ugly. She's just not Heather
She's
Graham.
pretty. I think I preferred her.
I did not.
Which is so sad.
I think she's
sorry
too
to be objectifying or whatever, but
She's like too skinny for me.
I love the balance of being like feminist, like girls that shouldn't be defined by their bodies, but also like gay or bi, like oh pretty girl.
I mean it's Austin Powers. Like there's no way to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
no way to talk about them that isn't objectifying because
Right.
it's Austin Powers.
Dr. Evil, his latest plan is that he's developed a time portal to go back to the 60s to steal Austin's mojo, the source of his sexual appeal.
That
And they
is the only
travel
explanation.
to 1969, of course they do. I can't even read this. I can't read any further. What do you mean? I can't. I don't want to know.
Give it to me. Are you kidding me?
I can't think about this. It makes me angry. Like, viscerally angry. Who spent millions of dollars on this to allow us to exist?
There's a sentence. Listen to this. It's like the third sentence of the plot summary of Austin Powers 2. Austin grieves briefly before realizing he is single again and thus can have sex without commitment. Sex without commitment is highlighted as though, like,
It's a
in case you
hyperlink.
want to read about what that means.
It's a hyperlink. Sex without commitment. In case you weren't sure.
Wikipedia, what are you doing?
This is why I'm not gonna pay you.
You guys want to know who my only straight crush is?
Wait,
I
It's
think I already
the
told you this.
it's the
I
roommate.
told her.
Wallace?
Kieran Culkin. I love him in that movie.
Oh my god.
He's great.
Fucking heaven help you.
But do you understand? Like, I'm a lesbian.
I get it. I fucking get it. Oh, Jesus. Wallace.
He's the best. Stand by it.
I remember when I read the comics and then I got to the part where Stephen Stills turns out to be gay and I was like really sad.
She's all, oh my god.
Not because obviously there's anything wrong with that, but just because he was so cute.
You're so basic. Sorry, I'm just mad that you think
I
it's weird
get
that I
it.
like Kieran Culkin.
I get it.
But you're also bi, so it makes sense. It's normal for a bi person to be attracted to attractive men. It's normal for a lesbian to be attracted to weird-looking men.
No, I don't.
Is it not? I don't care.
I'm not here to police your identity.
Thank you. Can you
All
agree that Kieran Culkin is awesome?
I don't know who that is.
He looks like Steve from Seuss.
Why the fuck?
Oh my word!
I mean, I am on the asexual scale, so I generally don't judge people by the way they look just because that's just not my thing, but like, what the fuck?
I
need to
mean,
find
I
people
like
who are
him
like
in the movie. He's very funny.
I need to find people who understand me.
You need to find people.
I can't read anymore. This is really long.
Just give me the gist.
That's what she
I
said.
can't read.
It's the problem.
It's really
with
long.
Well, okay, fine. Give it to me, and I'll read it.
It's because it's completely unintelligible. There's no way to sum it up
Also,
because it's completely unintelligible.
Also, the main villain's name is Fat Bastard.
Yeah, I know.
Me.
Oh, it's been projected this whole time.
Huh.
God damn, this is an essay.
She
Oh,
doesn't
that's right. It
understand
is
me.
Felicity.
All I want is to be understood.
Why do you sound like a peanut character?
2 is about time travel.
Oh, I hate that.
And then Dr. Evil tries to shoot the moon. I remember there being like a joke where he's like, I'm taking the moon hostage for like $1 million. And everyone's like, dude, maybe that's in the first one. Wait, that might be in the first one.
Is this not Despicable Me?
How many times can you take the moon hostage before you
I'm pretty
become a
sure this is
cliche?
Despicable Me.
It's very similar, because I think Despicable Me also, basically Austin Powers is like James Bond spoof. So, and I think Despicable Me had shades of that too.
How many times can you what?
How many times can you take the moon hostage before you become a cliche?
Is that a quote?
No, I'm literally asking that.
Oh. I think just once. I think this would take months.